How's better? Wow. Sorry about that. Okay. Anyway, I hope that's better or worse. For those that might be visiting, I'm not Greg Smith. Okay, first lesson. And if you said, I'm coming to Clarksville Highway today so I can see Greg Smith, see Miss Jackie, she'll give you a full refund for today. We'll take care of all that. But I have the great opportunity to preach today, to share with you. Really not preach today, but to share. And I was thinking, earlier this week, I'm rubbing against something here. I don't know what I think every time what's that? Okay. Better? Will that work better? Okay. All right. Okay. Now, y'all know, I live in those things. It's like, now what do I do? I don't have a jacket on. All right, that's okay. It'll work. Thinking of the lesson this morning. I thought about, it was directed to, first of all, I prayed a lot about this, and my goal and my prayer was, I want to say something today that somebody needs to hear. Not, I'm so special, I need to bring you a message. I want to say something today that God needs you to hear. The objective, the goal, would be for you to say, I don't remember who that was that spoke, but I remember something that was said. That'd be fine with me. It'd be fine with me if you don't remember anything about the speaker, but something about the message. And what we're going to talk about this morning is found in Matthew and in chapter 6. And in Matthew in 5, 6, in the first few chapters, Jesus is beginning his ministry, and we're talking about the Beatitudes in there, and he's giving a lot of different teachings about different things. And at one point in chapter 6, he teaches people about prayer. And he said, when you pray, don't be like those that run around, hey, Jeff is about to pray. Everybody watch out. Check it out. Jeff is going to pray. No, don't be like that. And don't be praying to say, I'm going to say certain words, and I'm going to say certain words over and over and over again. And that's the prayer. He said, no. He said, pray like this. We refer to this as the Lord's Prayer. And I looked at that this week and studied on it and prayed about it. And the first questions that I had, first of all, can I honestly and with a straight face and with an honest heart, can I pray that? Because it can be challenging. Okay. Can I honestly pray the Lord's Prayer? Here's the other thing I thought, can we people pray the Lord's Prayer? If I wrote the Lord's Prayer today, how would I style it? Would I say it the same way? I decided I wouldn't. I think I would say, our Father figure that is in heaven, to the extent that I believe in heaven, your name is holy unless I want to make an exclamation about something. And give me today everything that I want. And forgive me, because you should. But don't make me forgive anybody else, because they really don't deserve it. That may be the type of prayer that I would pray today. That's not the prayer that Jesus prayed. That's not the prayer that Jesus taught me about in Matthew. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to dissect it, and then the lesson will be yours. Jesus said, when you pray like this. Our Father, who is in heaven, holy is your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done. On earth just like it is in heaven. Give me today what I need for today. my daily bread. Give me today what I need for today. Forgive me my sins. And I forgive others when they sin against me. Don't lead me into temptation, but deliver me from what's evil. Because yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. And I was privileged to be here this morning and listen to my brother Shaw speak. Said many good things and spoke from his heart from the Bible. And Dennis is here and Reggie's here, and I'm like Shaw said, I'm just privileged and honored to be one of the people that serve as the shepherds here. Shaw's a deep guy. So, I mean, some of the things he said I thought was, I don't know where I was going with that, but I appreciate your statement this morning. If you've ever been a speaker, you do that sometimes. It's like, there's a great lesson somewhere. It was right there for a second in my mind. But let's dissect this. Our Father. Our Father. Have you ever thought how amazing it is that the God who said, let there be light, let the firmament come about, let the earth be created, breathed life into man. The same God said, I would like you to call me Father. Think about that. And not because of any special birth that I have. I have the great privilege, and I think it's a privilege. I'm honored to be the father, or to be the son of George and Peggy Goldtrap from Ormond Beach, Florida. And if they're listening, there you go. I hope they are listening. Anyway, I'm their son, and I'm proud of that. But I'm their son because of a decision that two people made to create another life, and here I am. I was privileged to for many years to be able to call a man my father, like my father-in-law, and that was Ed Briley in Fayetteville, Tennessee. Wonderful man. And I was privileged to call him father because I had made a decision. Actually, I had made a decision to give in to Mary Marie after she asked me to date her and to marry her. No, that's really not it. It's a wonderful fantasy that I've lived for all these years, but it's not the truth. It was a decision that I made, that we made, to marry, and so because of that decision, I could call him father. Do you realize it is not because of any birth that I can say, my father, when I began to pray? It's not because of any decision that I made. It's not because of any decision you made. It's because of a decision that God made. And that God made long before I was ever an idea in anybody's mind. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. The Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. When God created the earth and created man, He created a plan that man could have a relationship with Him. That, in the words of my friend from this morning, that blows my mind. I think if God would say, here, I'm going to give you a little bit of my thinking and I'm going to put it in your little head, I would just explode. That's okay. When God said, pray like this, our Father, it is by it's by an adoption that God allows us to be His children. I have been, as a lawyer, I've had the opportunity to be in court sometimes when there was an adoption. And a judge would say, do you understand now you're going to be part of this family, and you're going to inherit just as you were born to this family, and you're going to be supported and provided for by this family. Everything will be as if you have always been a part of this family. God gave us that opportunity. It's very easy for me to take that for granted. Please don't. But He said, when you pray, begin with, our Father. Okay. Our Father who is in heaven. What I'd like to teach today about that, our Father who is in heaven. He is in heaven and I'm not. Well, of course you're not, Jeff. It is very easy for me, I don't know about you, but it is very easy for me to get so wrapped up in the world, in everything around me, to the point that I think this is all of life. It's just very easy, both in good and bad. You know, when times are good, it's easy for me to think, this is fantastic, this is wonderful, this will never get better. When times are bad, and when you live long enough in the world, there's going to be good times and there's going to be bad times. In bad times, it's easy to say, this is terrible, this is horrible, it will never end. Okay. Our Father who is in heaven, I'm not. This is not heaven. This is beautiful. I appreciate what Shaw said earlier today. I really want to meet together. You know, I want to get back to where the building is full, and not because I can say, you know, yippee, we have all this wonderful attendance. No, because I really miss my brothers and sisters and I want to hang out with everybody. Remember dinners, man. Clarksville Highway, listen, let me tell you for anybody who's listening too, Clarksville Highway only eats in groups of one or more. We love to eat together. It's a great thing, man. It's great. Let's get together and have a fellowship meal. Let's do that. And those days will come back. They'll be here again. But our Father that's in heaven, it's easy for me to say things are wonderful, and it's sometimes easy for me to just wrap up and be so in this world that I don't understand that things are good and things will be even better. In the book of Revelations, John is given a little bit of revelation about what heaven will be like. Well, man, there's streets of gold. The gates look like this. The walls are like this. Did John write that so that I would have a little glimpse of what heaven will be, or that I will understand that heaven will be something that is so incredible that I can't understand in my little mind? I think the latter is the case. I think John gave us an idea to say, heaven is going to be like this. It's going to be so good that you cannot imagine it. But our Father that's in heaven, I'm not in heaven yet. It's something I want to be at. Don't get so focused and consumed with the world that we can see, the physical world, that we think that this is heaven. And I say that because, and you think, oh, Jeff, that's silly. Nobody would think like that. We can do that. We can think that. When you look in the Old Testament, in the book of Exodus, the children of Israel are in slavery. They're owned by the Egyptians. They are oppressed by the Egyptians, and God, through a series of miraculous events, leads them out. And what did he tell them? Well, I'm going to take you to a land that's flowing with milk and honey. It's going to be so good. Could they imagine it? Let me tell you, when they were in the desert and they said, you've brought us out here to die, one of the things that they said was, we've left a land flowing with milk and honey. When they said a land of milk and honey, they were referring back to Egypt, back where slavery was. Don't be so wrapped up in this world that we begin to think what we see and what we experience is life, is heaven. It's not heaven. Heaven will be. John writes this in chapter 14 of John. Jesus was teaching his disciples, and his disciples became concerned and worried, and he said, you believe in me, you believe in my Father, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions, many rooms. And I've gone to prepare a place for you so that you can be there with me. And, I love this, and if it were not so, I wouldn't have told you. You know, I told you, didn't I? Didn't you hear me? Our Father that is in heaven. Our Father that is in heaven. Holy is your name. That's it. How does that change my life? Holy is his name. God's name is not something that is a point of exclamation. It's not something, you know, when I want to make a special point, I'll use God. It's not a magic rabbit's foot, a talisman. Again, I'm a I'm a lawyer, and for all those that are wondering, yes, you can be a Christian and a lawyer. Just make sure it is possible. But we love in courts to say we've separated church and state, and we're not going to have religion, but we're going to make people swear to tell the truth. You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. Why would I say that? Because I want people to have an import. But the name of God is not just a exclamation point or not just a special magical word that makes people somehow tell the truth. Our God is holy. Think of him as holy. Think of him as something. Think of God as someone that I worship, that I praise, that any glory that I can provide goes to God. Did you realize that the Israelites, from my understanding, would not even say the name of God? They had names that they thought was descriptive of the God that's praised, the God that's in sorrow, the God that's in glory. But they had a name for God that they wouldn't even say, thinking that it is so holy, I won't even have sinful lips say that word. Our Father, who is in heaven, holy is your name. Our Father who is in heaven, holy is your name. Your kingdom come. Your kingdom. This is important, I think, because your kingdom come, not my kingdom come. It is very easy for me, again, to think about the world that I can see and experience and understand in my very, very limited ability to understand. God's kingdom is not my kingdom. God's kingdom is something that I'm invited and adopted into and allowed to participate in, but God's kingdom is not my kingdom. Therefore, it is, while it is very easy for me to say, this is what God's will is for your life. It's not my kingdom. So it's not, this is Jeff's will for your life. This is Jeff's idea. Let's get together and let's study the Bible. Let's look and decide what is the will of God, how I'm supposed to pattern my life after God's will. But at the end of the day, it is not my kingdom. Our Father that is in heaven, holy is your name. Your kingdom come. I pray that my life looks like his kingdom. I pray as one of your shepherds that this congregation and our community. My friend Shaw used that word a lot this morning, community, and that's a beautiful word. I pray that this community looks like the kingdom of God. I recognize, though, that I have to struggle every day with remembering that it is God's kingdom that I want to create, not Jeff's kingdom. If God's kingdom at Clarksville Highway looks different than if God's kingdom at Clarksville Highway looks like something that I'm not comfortable with, then maybe it's my comfort that needs to change, not God's kingdom. Our Father that is in heaven, holy is your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done. Again, when we're talking about this, can we pray this today? Our Father that is in heaven, holy is your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done. Your will be done. My number one son, my favorite son, Coleman, sometimes, there you go, he raises his hand, that's him. Sometimes you'll ask him to do something. Coleman, I need you to, okay, I'm going to tell on you, brother, just because I love you. One of the ways you know what room Coleman has been in, because there'll be a dish there. Anywhere in the house, so it's going to be a dish somewhere, and that's how I know Coleman's been there. And I tell him, hey, Coleman, I need you to pick up the glass that's here or there, the other thing, and he'll say, I will. Okay, that's a Colemanism. We have many things in our house that are Colemanisms. Can we say that ourselves? Can we look at the Bible and say, thy will? Because it may be exactly something I want. It may be something I'm excited about. It may be something that terrifies me. Now, I hope that you look up here and say, oh, Jef is a good speaker. The prideful part of me would like you to say that. But this is terrifying. It's scary, especially when there are little, technical glitches here and there. It's scary. But our Father who is in heaven, holy is your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done. Your will be done when it's what I have in mind. Your will be done when it's not exactly what I was picturing to start with. Your will be done when I'm uncomfortable with it. Your will be done when it's scary to me. But at the end of the day, your will be done. How did different Bible characters operate with that? How did different Bible characters take that and incorporate it into their life? Isaiah was in the Spirit and experiencing a vision, and he saw, he heard God's message saying, who will we send to here? Who will we send to there? And Isaiah said, here am I, send me. That's one way to interact with this, with the idea of saying, your will be done. Jonah was given the same message. Go preach. And what did Jonah say? Go preach. I'll go that way. Jonah had something. Jonah said, no, thy will be done when I'm okay with it. Moses, you got to love the Bible characters. You got to love people in the Bible like Moses. God said, Moses, lead my children of Israel out of Egypt. And Moses said, please find somebody else. Can you not find somebody else? Let me tell you about all these other, Aaron's a great speaker. All these other people are better than I am. Please find somebody else. Can we preach today? Can my fellow elders, can anybody that works here with us, can any one of the members preach today? My Father who is in heaven, holy is your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done. Maybe that's my will. Maybe I've got to adjust my will. But God, your will be done. Our Father that's in heaven, holy is your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done. On earth, just like it is in heaven. How are things done in heaven? God said, in the beginning was the Word. That's John 1. In the beginning, God created. God spoke, and it happened. That's the way his will is done in heaven. He says it, it's done. That's the way his will should be in my life. Is it? My Father that's in heaven, holy is your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. The Lord's Prayer, give us today what we need. I would respectfully suggest a very un-American prayer. Give us today what we need. Let me tell you how Jef would write that. If you said, Jef, write the Lord's Prayer to the people of almost 2021. I would say, give us what we need, and believe me, what I think I need is going to be a lot higher than what I actually need. And not only that, Lord, give me what I need and make it better than what you gave him. Okay, it's just a difficult concept sometimes to deal with. Lord, give me what I need, and give me what I need for today. Let me confess, my anxiety sometimes is not only what do I have, is that enough for today, but what will I need tomorrow, and what will I need next year, and what will I need in different stages of my life. What I have slowly, painfully learned is that as much as we plan and plot and formulate ideas, you have no idea what the next stage of your life is going to be. You have no idea if the next stage of your life is going to get there. Anyway, give us today what we need for today. The children of Israel in Exodus were brought out of Egypt, out of slavery, a land that they later looked on and said, oh, it's a land of milk and honey. We sat around eating meat and vegetables, and it was just wonderful, fantastic. By the way, we were in slavery, we were owned, and we were abused. But let's not look at that. They were brought out into the wilderness. And what did Jesus do? What did God do? God provided for them manna each day, what they needed. He said, don't get any more than you need. They said, oh, we want meat. He said, okay. Brought in meat, quail. Brought them into the camp. He provided for them daily what they needed. Well, that was back then. Was that back then? Was that really? What I read in the Bible is the God that said, create the world and put man in it and breathe the breath of life into man is the same God that I just prayed to today. God provided for them. He'll provide for us. Will he provide for me to the extent that I want? Maybe, maybe not. Have you ever heard that the nursery rhyme? Yeah. Hush, little luxury, don't you cry. You'll be a necessity by and by. It's okay. Give us this day our daily bread. Give me today what I need. My Father that's in heaven, holy is your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth like it is in heaven. Give me this day what I need today. Don't lead me into temptation. I struggled with that. When I was studying this Lord's Prayer more and more, what do you mean, don't lead me into temptation? The Lord doesn't tempt me, and he doesn't. The Lord does not tempt me. My desires and my flesh tempt me. The Lord doesn't tempt me. What did James say? Why do you have sin? Because your own lust war within you. It is not God that tempts me. It's my own desires that tempt me. Don't lead me into temptation, but deliver me from the evil one. Be the one that delivers me. Protect me. When you pray that, believe that that is exactly what will happen. God will give you a way. God has given you a way. I love it when people say, God will give me a victory. God has given you, past tense, the victory. It may not feel like it now, but be patient. Our Father that's in heaven, holy is your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done. On earth just like it is in heaven. Give me today what I need for today. And don't lead me to temptation, but deliver me from the evil one, indicating there is an evil one, and I need that deliverance. Because Jef needs to be glorified. No. Because the elders need to stand up so that everybody can recognize us and give us a lot of praise. No. Because God, yours is the glory and the power forever and ever and ever. Again, do I understand that? There are people in this congregation that are much deeper than I am. And for those who know me intellectually, you think, that didn't take much, brother, to be much deeper than you. And I'm okay with that. There are people that are deeper. So you say, how is it that when you say, yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever, that concept forever, I don't understand it because I'm confined to this body and this time and in space. Hallelujah, I don't have to. I just have to have faith. It is the prayer that Jesus said, here's an example. Our Father, who's in heaven, whose name is holy. Holy is your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done on earth just like it is in heaven. Please give me today what I need for today. And don't let me walk towards temptation, but deliver me from the evil one, because yours is the kingdom. Yours is the power. Yours is the glory. That, God's kingdom and power and glory is something that is incredible and requires not my understanding, but just my faith. And that kingdom and glory, as much as I was invited into that family by faith and by repentance and by baptism, Everyone is. You are. Everyone. Again, what we said, that everyone, everywhere is invited into that same family. I want to be part of that kingdom and power and glory and family. I want you to be. If there's any way at all that you are subject to God's invitation, please let us know as we stand and sing, brother.